Okay, Chava, this is just a quick video to show you how to measure pelvic tilt and iliac crest height. And this should be done every week on Jason. It's a good idea to check this with all your athletes actually, because before you start loading them in the gym, especially with things like squats and lunges and deadlifts, it's helpful to know whether or not the pelvis is doing what it's supposed to do. Otherwise you start posing a threat to the spine. So you want to get your client standing with their feet about hip width apart, so the legs are parallel. So someone that's got a really wide pelvis, a big guy, the feet would be further apart, but the legs should be parallel with each other. And make sure it's on a nice, flat, smooth surface. This is a hardwood floor, so this is a good surface. So the first thing we do is expose the skin here and find the iliac crest. So you want to be kneeling down. You can't do this standing. You have to be kneeling behind your client and get your fingers, these index fingers, on the bone. So slide in firmly and then pull down. So I go in and then press down like so. And then I hold my fingers like this, parallel with the floor, so not like this or like this. And I'm looking to see whether one iliac crest is higher than the other. And those are level. And then the next thing to do is check the PSIS, which are these little bony bumps that are usually present as dimples on most people. Get your thumbs just underneath the most prominent part of the bone. Again, hold the thumbs parallel with the ground like that, not like this or like this. And check to see if they're level, and they are. Okay, so the thumbs are level. So we had iliac crest, which was there. That's level. And then thumbs just under the PSIS. That's level. I'm ducking my head down so you can see. But when you view it, your eyes need to be at the same height from the floor as where your fingers are. Okay, now turn to the left. So now we do pelvic tilt from the side. Turn that just a little more. That's it. So again, keep the feet about hip width apart. And now we're going on the ASIS and the PSIS. So the ASIS, anterior superior iliac spine, is this big prominent bony lump here. Go just underneath the most prominent part of the bone. So the most prominent part of the bone that I can feel right now is that bit. If you go just below that point, go ahead, bend forwards a little bit. Good, come back up. Once you get in the correct spot, when your client bends forward, the tension in the sartorius tendon disappears and you can feel like your fingers dropping into like a hollow below the very anterior aspect of the ASIS. And that's where your finger wants to be. Then I find the PSIS on the back, which is what we found earlier. That's that little bony bump. Go just underneath the most prominent part. And then this is the most important part. I hold my middle fingers parallel with the floor. So again, it's no good being like this or like this. The fingers have to be parallel with the floor. So I'm like that, and then you get your eyes at the same height, and you look at the height difference in inches between the two. Okay, so that's where my fingers should be, and then my eyes have to be here so I can really see what the height difference is between the two. And then you have to do both sides, so flip around. So now we find the same spots on the other side. ASIS, come just underneath the most anterior part of the ASIS, bend forwards a wee bit. Good, and I can feel my finger dip in to that hollow that's created when she bends forwards. And again, PSIS just under the most prominent part, so my fingers are like this again. Curl the other fingers up out of the way and then inspect the height difference. Okay. Normal in a male is ½ an inch with pelvic tilt. Should be the same on both sides. Normal for a female is about ¾ of an inch. The iliac crests and the PSIS on those first two measurements should be exactly the same height from the floor as each other.